In this video, we will be reviewing a vintage pair of Kef Carinas, looking at the design, the specification and listening to them, followed by a comparison with another speaker in the Kef range from a different time period, followed by my views of how they perform. Are they worthy of consideration in 2025? Before I continue, I have a confession to make. I am a fully paid up Kef fanboy, a hi-fi enthusiast. I don't claim to be or wish to become an audiophile, and I certainly don't have golden ears. I purchased my first pair of Kef speakers many years ago, a pair of Kef Reference 104 ABs. I fell in love with the warm, rich sound and have owned many other Kef speakers over the years, and a few from other manufacturers. Over a period of many years, I have been adding more vintage hi-fi equipment to my collection, amps, cassette decks, etc. And you guessed it, more speakers. My partner thinks that I'm planning to open a vintage hi-fi museum. She may have a point. Some time ago, I picked up a pair of Kef Carinas, but hadn't got around to wiring them up and listening to them. In fact, I'd almost forgotten about them. Recently, I was listening to a Billy Joel album, when the track "It's Still Rock and Roll to Me" played. What intrigued me and got me thinking was the lyric, "Don't waste your money on a new set of speakers. You get more mileage from a cheap pair of sneakers," which I interpreted as speakers. I started wondering how would the Kef Carinas compare with a pair of newer Kef speakers. I don't have any new speakers, so I use second-hand speakers. With this thought in mind, I finally got around to wiring up the Carinas and carrying out an extensive listening test. Follow me through this video to find out and to get an overview of the Kef Carinas and my conclusion. Do you really get more mileage from a cheap pair of speakers? We will now look at the Kef Carina II brochure and highlight some of the key design and specification points. The Kef Carina II was manufactured between 1982 and 1983. They are a two-way, three-driver design. The cloth-covered 25mm voice coil high-frequency driver is mounted between the two 8-inch 200mm identical low-frequency drivers to stabilize the stereo image. Kef stated that the speakers are ideal for heavy rock as well as all digital music. This ages the speakers. Cabinet size 600mm high, 300mm wide and 249mm deep. Cabinet volume 33 litres. Weight 9.4 kilos. The Carina IIs are a sealed box design. I note that this normally results in less bass extension than a similarly sized ported design. Nominal impedance 8 ohms, which makes them an easy amplifier load and gives you plenty of amplifier options. Frequency range 55 Hz to 20 kHz plus or minus 3 dB at 2 meters. 45 Hz to 30 kHz at minus 10 dB. In reality, this means the bottom end grunt is a bit limited. Maximum output 104 dB sound pressure level on program peaks. Sensitivity 89 dB at 1 meter, pink noise input of 1 watt. The Carina IIs cost approximately £295 or $500 in 1982. Other Kef models available at the time were the Corel 3, Cresta 3, Cantor 3, Coda 3 and the Carlton 3. We will now move on to the sound check listening section of this video. The following equipment was used: Samsung Galaxy Tab A to stream the YouTube copyright-free audio, vintage Pioneer receiver LX690 and the Carina IIs. Audiophile health warning. Possibility of heart attack. One of the many things I like about the Pioneer receiver is that it has a loudness button, which can be great when listening to music at low levels. Everything sounds bolder, stronger and fuller, like the sound is on steroids. However, a bit like overusage of steroids, the use of the loudness button can have some very negative effects, and could damage your speakers and the amp if used at high volume levels. That said, for low level listening, the loudness button is a real whiz. For me, enjoying the music is far more important than rigidly striving for 100% accuracy. As you get older and your hearing deteriorates, manufacturer's specs become increasingly meaningless. The Carina II's sound check is without the loudness button engaged. The YouTube track is titled Snake on the Beach by Nico Staff. I have chosen the Kef Reference Model 2s for this comparison, as I had them at hand. I suspect that some may say it's an unfair comparison, but it will still be interesting to see if the newer speakers from a higher model range will actually outclass the Carinas, and if so, by how much. Let the comparison commence. How do you feel the Carina IIs compared with the Model 2s? Leave a comment. We will now compare the Carina II and Model 2 specifications. Frequency range, the Model 2s dig deeper into the bass, going down an extra 12 Hz. Maximum output, the Model 2s go louder by 9 dB, which is a lot louder. Sensitivity, the Model 2s have a 1 dB advantage. Internal volume, the Model 2s have a 9 litre larger cabinet. Nominal impedance, the Model 2's 4 ohm load is more demanding on the amplifier. Weight, the Model 2s are 20.2 kg heavier and have a much more rigid cabinet. What can you buy the Kef speakers for on a well-known auction site? Carina IIs sold for between £70 and £120. And the Model 2s sold for between £200 and £490. My thoughts. The Carina IIs have a lot going for them. They produce a warmer sound, partly due to the cabinet not being as rigid as the Model 2s. As the volume increases, they tend to become a bit boomy and less composed. They provide a pleasing sound to my ears and are suitable for casual listening at reasonable listening levels. They unsurprisingly produce a vintage sound, one I quite like. The Carina's sealed box design results in less bass extension, but this could be enhanced with the use of a subwoofer. The Model 2s produce a cleaner, more transparent sound, better imaging, controlled tighter bass that extends further down the octave range. In my opinion, the newer Model 2s do outclass the Carina IIs. But depending on your budget and listening criteria, the Carina IIs are worthy of consideration. Either speaker purchased near to the lower recent sold prices represents a real bargain. If I had to choose between the Carina IIs and the Model 2s, I would opt for the Model 2s. But if I hadn't done the comparison, I wouldn't have known the difference and would have been happy to use the Carina IIs on a frequent basis. So, to answer the question, was Billy Joel right? Don't waste your money on a new set of speakers. You get more mileage from a cheap pair of speakers. In some circumstances, yes, but dependent on a number of factors. Your budget, the type and characteristics of the other equipment in your system, style preferences, type of music and volume you are planning to listen at, what type of sound you prefer, vintage, warm, or more accurate but potentially clinical. Nostalgia, a connection with the past, one's youth and happy memories. A person's perception of sound can be subjective and influenced by hearing loss, the other components in your system, room placement and furniture. Don't get fixated on specs. Find something you like the sound of and focus on enjoying it. You can now listen to the full tune, Snake on the Beach, played through the Kef Carina IIs. If you have enjoyed this video, please subscribe and smash the like button for notifications of upcoming videos and to support my channel. Thank you.